Hello, so I decided to do my essay project on a little video. I really enjoyed braiding sweetgrass, and I wanted to incorporate the themes in that book into this project. So what really struck me from the book was Kimmerer's idea of, can you be a steward of the earth and be a truck driver or a miner or have some kind of occupation that that harms the environment. So I kind of think of this as like, would you steal bread to feed your family? Like, what's the moral thing to do? What's right and what's wrong? So with thinking of that, I was thinking that you can be a steward of the earth and love the environment and have a job, or to have a job that hurts the environment, or not do everything to help the environment. Because I feel like us humans are nature, and even though we harm the environment, it doesn't mean that we don't love it. And maybe some people would say that you can't love the environment if you do things to harm it. Like, for example, currently I don't do really anything to help the environment. I live in my little apartment off campus, and I don't recycle. I don't use like plastic or glass water bottles. Like, I keep buying water bottles, like cases of water bottles. I use normal cleaning products. I work at a restaurant off Kirkwood Highway. We don't do anything for the environment there. Like, I think they recycle cardboard boxes, but that's it. Like, when I'm working, I throw away plastic bags and trash, and it kind of sounds bad. Like, how can I love the environment if I'm doing all this stuff? But my theory, or my understanding of how I feel about this theme, is that you can. So based on this, I decided to interview some people on their thoughts. So I bring up themes of humans and nature and their relationship. I ask about their personal relationship with the environment and nature. I mention being native and restoration, and I kind of wanted to like wrap up each interview with the question of, can you love the environment even though you may not do everything to help it? Because that's kind of what I'm basing this off of. That's like my theory, my conclusion to this course, basically in general, with the idea of keeping braiding sweetgrass in mind. Of course, I got consent from every participant in this little project, but I also wanted to see if age had anything to do with the answers. So I had interviewed a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 51-year-old, and a 77-year-old. So what I would think is that the young people would be more in tune with the environment and helping it more, and wanting to help it more, and understanding the harm and the human effect on the environment, and that the older people would not be so much in tune with the environment. So I guess we will see the results at the end and conclude if people can love the environment even though they may not help it. So this is my project, and here we go. Okay. Do you think humans and nature are a bad mix?
Yes, I do, in a way. We all try to help nature in a good way, but we also help nature in a bad way. We use products that are environmentally safe, but we also drive cars that hurt the environment.
Do you think humans have neglected nature?
Yes, I do, but it's not because we want to hurt nature, it's because of our lifestyle. And some things we do are good for the environment, and some things we do aren't. But we're all going to try our best, I hope.
How do you think humans can improve their relationship with nature?
By definitely recycling more, going out for a beautiful walk, and using environmental safe products for the home and just in general.
Do you do anything to have a sustainable relationship with the environment?
I definitely recycle. I definitely use products that are good for the environment. And I definitely buy products for my home that keeps the air in my home fresh and allergy free.
How do you connect with nature?
Going for a walk, taking care of my flowers outside, and try to keep my environment around my house clean and safe.
What is your understanding of the word restoration?
To me, the word restoration means to repair, to take care of things.
To you, what does it mean to be native?
To be one with nature.
Can people have a love for the environment even though they may not do everything to help the environment?
Yes, we can have love for our environment, but our lifestyle doesn't permit it all the time. But we're all going to try harder, I hope.
That humans and nature can be a good mix, but the way that we have done it so far is not a good mix. The way that people treat the environment could be definitely improved, and once we find that balance, then we'll be able to have the good mix.
Do you think that humans have neglected nature?
I think that we neglect nature every day with the kinds of cars that we drive and the way that we do things. A lot of people don't know anything about recycling in the South. When I visit there, there's not really recycling bins anywhere, which makes me nervous. I think that a lot of people take the environment as like a joke, but there's nothing else really that we should be concerned about, really.
How do you think humans can improve their relationship with nature?
By educating themselves and finding ways to make positive changes, and yeah.
Do you do anything to have a sustainable relationship with the environment?
I try to educate my friends about it. They always say I'm annoying, but I just like to just say it so that I can say I said something in the moment. And then actually I changed one of my friends' minds about the environment, and she was like, wow, I thank you. And I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you connect with nature?
I have always grown up around nature. I always thought it was so beautiful and always tried to take the time out to see it, whether it's vacations or just in my own personal time. So growing up around it, I just can see the differences. Like when I find trash in like a pretty area, it just makes me really sad because you can just see that somebody was there and they didn't care. So I think if we can keep that separated, it would be the best for everyone.
What is your understanding of the word restoration?
Restoration means to me with the environment is to find ways to make it better. So to try and find ways to stop stop the bad things that we have been doing. So like putting trash and like toxins into the water and just like disposing of things improperly and finding new fuel sources would be great steps in order to restore the environment and really educating people so that they know that it's not just global warming's a myth, like it's an actual thing. People don't even know that, so that's the first step.
To you, what does it mean to be native?
To be native is to be from a community and like have that sense of home there. So I would say that I'm native to Delaware and Delaware beaches, so I take extra pride in the environmental sanitation in those areas, especially.
Can people have a love for the environment even though they may not do everything to help the environment?
Okay, so I think I fall into this category because I am completely for the environment. I'm pro no water bottles, no like plastic, recycling, everything. But I also want to experience nature, so I will go on a boat or I'll fly in an airplane or do other things, even shop online. So that's also bad for the environment because the excess fuels and everything. But finding ways to make that better is the first step.
I don't think they're a bad mix. Mainly because I think when I think of nature, I think it calms you. All the animals that are in nature. Just make the world a better place. Like, I love the birds, the squirrels, just everything about all the animals. I'm a big animal lover, so anything with nature and the trees. I think it's a good mix. I think if we didn't have it, I think there'd be a lot less. I think it would hurt our the way we feel inside. I think it's a good calming, relieving the stress and make people happy. And if we didn't have it, I think there would be a lot more sad and even maybe angry people out there. I think it's a good mixture.
Okay.
Do we need to redo that one?
No, that was good. That was really good. Do you think that humans have neglected nature?
Yes, I think to a certain extent we do. When I think of nature, I think of not just the animals, but our earth, the grounds we live on, and I think with first thing that comes to mind would be littering. Trash on. I drive everywhere. I see so much trash on the ground. When I think of the ocean, think of the people that dump stuff in the ocean. I think that pollutes the water, the air that's polluted. So I take that as neglecting nature. I know this is very little, but even if when I'm outside and I see something that I don't like I don't like spiders, but I refuse to kill a spider that's outside because it's like that's part of nature. It's like, I'm big on, insects, not killing them. Now, of course, if I see a big spider in my house,
That's different.
That's different. I'm not going to sit there and catch it and release.
Right.
But I'm like, if they're in their environment, I don't do that. And there's times where if I'm able to save the spider, or like, for instance, we got a mouse in the house and we tried to save it and release it instead of killing it. We've done that. It didn't work out the way we wanted to, but we attempted to do that. But So, yeah.
How do you think that humans can improve their relationship with nature?
I think if they slow down and actually enjoy it, I think a lot of times, especially in today's fast-paced world, everyone is just so quick to get from point A to point B that they're not even taking time to even just listen to the birds and just relax and just take it all in. Like, for instance, your father and I, when we go to the beach, just us two, we'll sit there and just, we get a lot of enjoyment just watching the birds dive down into the ocean and eat their fish, and, you know, just slow down and just take it all in, and, you know, look up in the sky and see the pretty clouds. I think a lot of people are just too busy looking at their phones, you know, just rushing around and not even enjoying what's around them.
Yeah. Do you do anything to have a sustainable relationship with the environment?
I do a couple things. I could do a lot more, but the one thing I do is at our body shop, we do recycle cardboard. I do that. Sometimes I buy cleaners that are environmental safe for that. But the one thing I don't do, which I could be doing, is recycling, like water bottles. We don't have trash here at the house, like a trash pickup. So we don't have trash cans or recycle bins at our home. We have a dumpster at our body shop. So part of me feels guilty that I'm just throwing away all these water bottles. I don't know if they still have those recycle bins in parking lots where I could just collect the water bottles and put them in some recycle bin that's someplace else. But I thought about that, but I could be doing more.
How do you connect with nature?
Well, the one thing I do is I love to feed the birds. I have a bird feeder out back, and I'm always keeping it filled and just watching them. It's right outside my kitchen window, so I'm constantly just watching them. I do love taking walks, especially at our beach house, because it's a very quiet neighborhood, and you can easily hear all the birds around. And just I love sitting at the beach and just hearing the waves and watching the seagulls, and so that's mainly how I connect with nature.
What is your understanding of the word restoration?
Okay. My understanding is bringing something back from its original state, like, for an example, an old car, and restoring it back to its original state. You know, just bringing anything back to what it was before. That's my understanding of that word.
To you, what does it mean to be native?
From where you originated. Like, I was born and raised in Delaware, so I'm a native of Delaware. That's what I think of when I think of native, where you have, you know, you're connected to something.
Can people have a love for the environment even though they may not do everything to help the environment?
Yes, I actually touched base on that with one of my previous questions, where I do love the environment, and I could be doing more. So you can have a love for the environment and not be doing anything. And for me, I think it's just probably pure laziness of not doing enough. I have no excuse, but for not doing it, like I said, I need to go out and see if they still have those recycle bins elsewhere where I could take my water bottles and dump them. It's just between procrastinating, putting it off, and being lazy. But so there's that. So.
Okay. Do you think humans and nature are a bad mix? Why or why not?
No, because we need nature to survive.
Do you think that humans have neglected nature?
Yes, because people will just litter on the ground.
How do you think humans can improve their relationship with nature?
By not smoking, by not littering.
Okay. Do you do anything to have a sustainable relationship with the environment?
No.
How do you connect with nature?
I run outside. I take my dog outside.
Okay. What is your understanding of the word restoration?
I've never heard that word before, so I don't know.
To you, what does it mean to be native?
Know your roots and know where you came from.
Can people have a love for the environment even though they may not do everything to help the environment?
Yes. Like, I love the environment, but I don't do anything to help the environment and to improve the environment.
Do you think that humans and nature are a bad mix? Why or why not?
I mean, yeah, I would think so because, I mean, obviously you see the effects that humans have on nature that wouldn't have happened if we weren't here.
Do you think that humans have neglected nature?
I mean, yeah, to an extent because people just take things for granted and they don't realize that, I mean, a lot of stuff that you do can harm the environment and it's not, these aren't unlimited resources that we have on the earth, so.
How do you think humans can improve their relationship with nature?
Just being more mindful of what they do and not being as wasteful in just everyday things and cutting back on like being, I don't know, just cutting back on things that they don't need to do and just stop being wasteful.
Do you do anything to have a sustainable relationship with the environment?
I mean, I don't think I personally do anything that's like anything out of the ordinary. I mean, I recycle, you know, all that kind of stuff, but nothing like major.
How do you connect with nature?
I mean, just being outside, doing things like, you know, being out in the ocean and going for walks outside, you know, stuff like that.
What is your understanding of the word restoration?
Just efforts to like try and help restore. Well, I can't use restore in the definition of restoration, but just help try and bring things back closer to what they were before. So in like nature sense, I mean, we've like taken advantage of so many things that we have and just been so wasteful and harmed the environment, and just trying to take little steps at a time to try and build that back up and make the environment a little bit better.
To you, what does it mean to be native?
To just be from somewhere. I don't know.
Can people have a love for the environment even though they may not do everything to help the environment?
I think so. I mean, a lot of people would say that they like being outside and they don't want the oceans to be, you know, all dirty, and they don't want animals to die because of what they're doing, but it's hard to make the decisions to help the environment when you're actually faced with the choices.
Listening to what everyone has said, I'm a little surprised with certain people. So before, in the beginning of the video, I had said that I would think that the younger people would be more in tune with the environment and that the older people wouldn't. But honestly, I feel like the older people were more in tune with the environment based on their answers. So my grandmother, who is 77, was the first person I had interviewed, and she, you know, uses cleaning products that are environmentally safe. There's like absolutely no chemicals in them. And she plants flowers and likes doing stuff outside. So I was like kind of surprised with that. And same with my mom. My mom is 51 and she had some really good answers, and I'm honestly like shocked in a good way that she knows so much, and that I felt like she had perfect answers to what restoration is and what it means to be Native. I mean, I think her answers for that were the best out of everyone. So yeah, and I was also surprised how she said that she thinks that humans and nature are a good mix, because she's thinking it as like they're a good mix for humans, for us, instead of thinking it as a good mix for the environment. So I guess everyone has a different response for that, but I had never really thought of it that way. When thinking of the question, I'm thinking of, do you think they're a good mix, like based on the environment, not based on humans? So that kind of, opened my eyes a bit, thinking of it that way. Laura, who is the second person in the video, she is 20, and she actually knows a good amount about the environment, and that's why I really wanted to interview her, because I feel like the people in my family, we all kind of feel the same way and don't really do much for the environment. So I thought it was really important to have somebody that like really tries to help the environment and tries to spread the word about the environment as well. I think that is extremely important. And she said she changed one of her friends' minds about the environment, which is great. I mean, that is how we start, like that is how the environment is going to get better, is by spreading the word. And once people know, then people will do something, I mean, I'm saying that, but again, I know, and what do? I don't really do anything. So, like, it's just such a hard concept. Like, even just me saying this out loud for the first time, like, I feel like stupid saying it, because I do know, but what do I do? I don't do anything. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is just completely will never be answered, ever, because it's different for everyone. And like a lot of people said in the video as well, like it's the way we live, it's our society, it's sometimes it's almost like we don't have a choice sometimes, because it's, it's like the way our society is set up and the way we run as humans, and with work and school and doing all this stuff, sometimes it just doesn't seem easy enough, or like, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. It's honestly so hard to think about it, and thinking about what everyone, said in the interviews. I don't know. Like, for example, I interviewed my sister, who is the second to last person who I interviewed, and like, it's not that she didn't know anything, but she just tells herself that she doesn't know anything, so it's like, so she thinks she doesn't know anything, but when you really think about like the answers, I mean, like, it's really not that hard. Like, she didn't really know what restoration meant. I think she just said no. She just said no in the video. So I don't know. We have to spread the word. But to come back to my theory that can people love the environment even though they may not do everything to help it? And I would say yes. I mean, I think most people would say yes. I mean, everyone in this video said yes. And I think 9 out of 10 people would say yes. I mean, even I would say there's far and few people that would say no. But that doesn't mean we can't do anything. We have to do something, and we have to spread the word, and every little bit helps. It really does. And it's actually kind of funny that I'm a waitress, and I went up to one of my tables and I put their drinks down and started giving them straws, and they said no straws, no. And I'm like, oh, okay, like good, that's good, because I've been hearing that like restaurants around the area have stopped giving out straws completely. You know, it's like for saving the turtles and stuff, but the restaurants actually save a bunch of money just for not getting straws. Like something so small, and they're saving a bunch of money, and they're helping the environment at the same time. So like the couple actually kind of seemed a little like annoyed that they weren't getting straws, even though they had decided to, and they were telling me that their daughter like is the one that is making them do this. And I was like, oh, like, is it for a school project? And they said, no, it's just, you know, a lifestyle choice that she made, and she's trying to get us to do it. And like they kind of seemed like annoyed, like, oh, like I wish we didn't have to do this. But it's honestly like it's just as simple as that. Like, just don't use straw. Like, there's just so much every single person can do. Just not using straws can help so much. But thinking of that, like, if you're not going to use that straw, like somebody else is going to use that straw. You know, like you see like around like campus, like at the bathrooms, it's like save the trees, like don't use like the paper to dry your hands, like use like the air machines. But like somebody's going to use that paper. Like it's going to be gone no matter what. If I don't use it, somebody else is going to use it. So like, what's the difference? Like, is there a difference? I don't know if there's a difference. I don't know, because like I feel like there's not. So this is honest. It's so complicated, and I'm honestly really glad that I decided to do this for my project, because it really, really like gets me thinking, and it makes me think of like our entire class as a whole and everything we've talked about, and now like relating it to my life and what I should be doing to help. Like, there's just so much that we can do, even the smallest things. And I think like even the people that I interviewed for this project, like honestly, they are probably thinking more about the environment because of this, you know, like once you get talking about something, like it kind of is in the back of your mind. So I hope it changes their minds about some things. I hope it, you know, makes me do some more, like even though I know I should. So yeah. I mean, hopefully I didn't get sidetracked, but I'm just thinking and talking right on the spot. Like I didn't even practice like what I'm saying. I'm kind of just talking, which I think is better material than, you know, reading from lines. So yeah, I mean, to conclude this project, I would say that you can definitely love the environment, even though you may not do anything to help it. But the way our society is set up doesn't always allow us to do things like help the environment in a way, but there's still so much that like you can do as an individual in this world, in your society, as a citizen. And it takes spreading the word and just doing something small day by day, and it will make a big impact. So this concludes my project, and I hope you enjoy, or did enjoy it. Okay.